After a tense and silent 20-minute drive, Victor's sleek black car pulled up in front of the Tilman estate. The mansion, tall and proud, stood like a shadow in the night. Its wide steps, tall pillars, bright, and glowing windows lit up the driveway, casting long streaks of light across the ground, right? Everything about the house screamed wealth and power, but to Cassandra, it felt cold, right? She reached for the door handle, her small hand trembling slightly, but she didn't ask for help, right? She pushed the door open and stepped out on her own, trying hard not to show any weakness. Her little feet moved forward with purpose. Each step was firm, right? Her small body was filled with quiet strength. Victor followed just behind her. He said nothing. Right, his face was serious and unreadable under the soft glow of the outside lights. His hands were in his coat pockets, but his clenched jaw told the truth. He was full of frustration and worry, right? The house was strangely quiet until a loud voice broke the silence. Cassie, right? Laura Harper came rushing from the living room, her phone still in her hand. She had been watching something, right? But now she quickly shut the screen off and slid the phone into her pocket, right? Her high heels clicked on the marble floor as she hurried toward the front door, right? She stopped in her tracks the moment she saw Cassandra. Her face shifted in an instant. The forced smile came quickly. Cassie, sweetie, she said, opening her arms. You're finally back. I was so worried about you. Without waiting. Right, she stepped forward and wrapped her arms tightly around the little girl. You scared us? You know, she murmured, her voice coated in fake concern. Right. I was so frightened when I heard you'd left. Are you hurt? Let me check you. Her hands moved quickly over Cassandra's shoulders and arms. Right, pretending to look for injuries. But Cassandra stood still and cold. She didn't return the hug. For a moment, she was confused. Laura's voice sounded worried. Her hug felt warm. Was she really concerned? But then, like a switch, the memories returned. Right, your father doesn't love you anymore. Cassandra's tiny face stiffened. That horrible sentence echoed in her head. It hurt more than she could explain. She pulled away. The smile on Laura's face faded just slightly. Cassie. Don't pull away from me, she said soft and smooth. Right? I'm only trying to help. But Cassandra took another step back. Her eyes, though wide and young, were full of defiance. Laura glanced at Victor and gave a quiet sigh. Like she was the one hurting. Victor, she said, her voice shaking just enough to seem real. Right, I think she's still very upset. Maybe you should talk to her. Victor stood quietly, arms crossed over his chest. He could see something wasn't right. Cassandra's shoulders were tense, her face unreadable. But his own frustration made it hard to think clearly. Cassandra's hands curled into fists. Her tiny fingers dug into her palms. Laura kept pushing. Cassie, please, she said. Her voice softer now. Don't act like this. I'm only trying to. Before she could finish, Cassandra jerked away from her touch. It was fast, sharp, final. Laura froze for a second. Her eyes narrowed. Cassie, she said, her voice almost a warning now. But Cassandra had had enough. She pushed Laura's hands away harder this time. The action was bold, right, strong, completely out of character. Victor stepped forward, his deep voice cutting the tension. Cassandra, he said, firm and low. That's enough. The little girl turned to him. Her lips pressed together tightly. Victor thought he saw tears in her eyes. But before he could be sure, she looked away, That's when Laura made her move, right? She let out a small cry, stumbled backward dramatically, and let herself fall to the floor. Right, Victor blinked in surprise. Laura sat on the ground, eyes wide and shiny with tears. Victor, she said in a shaky voice. I know she's hurting, right? But I never thought she'd push me like that. She let her words trail off as though overcome with emotion. Cassandra didn't move. She stood still, watching. Her eyes moved slowly from Laura to her father. She knew exactly what Laura was doing, and it made her heart ache. Victor looked at both of them. Laura on the floor, Cassandra standing stiff and silent. He sighed and spoke softly but firmly. Cassandra, you can't behave like this, he said. I know you're upset. Right. But hurting someone isn't the right way to deal with your feelings. Do you understand? Cassandra's bottom lip trembled. She held on to her doll tighter. Her small knuckles turned white from the pressure. She didn't say anything. Instead, she turned quickly and ran toward the stairs. Cassandra, Victor called after her. Right. But she didn't stop. She disappeared up the staircase, leaving behind an empty silence. Right. Laura slowly stood and brushed invisible dust from her outfit. Victor, she said quietly. Please don't be so hard on her. She's been through a lot. I can't imagine how she must feel. Victor pinched the bridge of his nose. His head was beginning to ache. You should leave, he said finally. Cassandra needs space. And I don't think she wants to see you right now. Laura's face twitched, but she quickly fixed it into a polite smile. Of course, she said softly. Right. Her voice trembling a little, as if trying to look like the hurt one. Right. I'll come back another day when she's feeling better. Victor didn't reply. Right. He just turned away and headed toward the stairs. His shoulders sagged with the weight of everything going on. As soon as Laura walked outside, her whole expression changed. The fake tears were gone. Her lips twisted in anger. That little brat, she hissed under her breath. How dare she embarrass me like that? She looked back at the house with fury. And Victor? Right. How could he treat me like I was the problem? Her eyes narrowed, and a wicked smile played at the corners of her lips. Cassandra should have stayed lost, she muttered. It would have been better for everyone. Meanwhile, back inside the Velvet Moon, the restaurant was still full of chatter and the sounds of silverware. But at a corner table, two women sat quietly. Alina let out a shaky breath and turned to Sophia. I can't believe I kept my cool, she said with a nervous laugh. Victor's stare could set ice on fire. I was sure I'd slip up. Sophia smiled gently, her eyes full of appreciation. You did great, she said softly. Thank you, Alina. I know it wasn't easy. Alina waved her hand like it was nothing. Don't thank me yet. My heart's still pounding, right? That man could make a stone confess without saying